Have you ever wondered why some men feel instantly more energized, lighter, and alive, almost as if someone suddenly opened the valves of their body's circulation, while others struggle with stiffness, fatigue, and sluggish blood flow no matter what they try? What if the difference isn't age, luck, or genetics, but simply knowing where to activate your body's natural pathways? Imagine this, just 3 points on your body. 3 small, often ignored spots, holding the power to stimulate warmth, circulation, and life again. And all it takes is a few drops of castor oil. The question is, are you willing to try? Have you ever wondered why some people, even in their 60s or 70s, seem to move with ease, feel energized, and maintain a sense of inner vitality, while others struggle with stiffness, tension, and sluggishness? What separates the two? Is it genetics, or is it the daily habits that quietly shape the body from within? Today, I want you to imagine something simple. Something so small it almost feels impossible that it could make a meaningful difference. A few drops of castor oil, gently massaged into 3 key points on your body. Not as a miracle cure, not as a medical treatment, but as a ritual. A calming, warming practice that teaches your body to relax, unwind, and open up pathways of comfort and circulation that stress often shuts down. Castor oil has been used for centuries, not because it is magical, but because warm oil on the skin encourages one powerful thing: relaxation. And when the body relaxes, blood flows more freely, muscles soften, breathing deepens, the mind unclenches. In books like The Healing Power of Touch and The Nature of Self-Care, authors remind us that the human body responds beautifully to warmth, consistent care, and mindful attention. Sometimes the simplest tools can create the greatest shifts. The first point is your lower abdomen, a place where tension collects silently. Many people carry stress here without realizing it. When you warm castor oil in your hands and gently massage this area, you're telling your body it's safe to let go. You are activating a natural response that signals your nervous system to loosen its guard. When the body softens on the inside, circulation has more room to move. It's not the oil alone, it's the act, the ritual, the moment you create for yourself. The second point sits just above your groin, along the crease where your leg meets your pelvis. This area is full of large vessels, and more importantly, it's a crossroads of tension from sitting long hours, standing too much, or simply living life without enough stretching. When you apply a warm layer of castor oil here, you're not unlocking blood flow in a medical sense. You're easing tightness, reducing friction, and encouraging the area to move freely. Think of it like oiling a hinge on a door that has been creaking for years. The door doesn't magically transform, but it begins to move the way it was meant to. The third point is your lower back, right at the center. We often forget how much strain this point carries. Stress, age, poor posture, they all settle here. When the lower back stiffens, everything downstream stiffens too. A slow, circular massage with warm castor oil here helps soothe the muscles that support your spine. Again, not a treatment, just a practice of releasing pressure, melting stress, and giving your body space to breathe. As the muscles loosen, the body naturally improves the way it moves blood through the area. But here's the real message. The oil is only a tool. The true power comes from the care you give yourself. It comes from the moment you decide to pause, to touch your own body with intention, to breathe deeply, and to shift from autopilot into awareness. When your nervous system feels calm, your blood vessels respond. Your breathing shifts from shallow to full. Your muscles release their grip. Circulation improves simply because your body is no longer fighting itself. This is what so many people misunderstand. Wellness isn't delivered in a bottle. It is built through habits. Castor oil is inexpensive, accessible, and easy to use, but the real magic comes from consistency. One small ritual done every night can change the way you feel every morning. Not dramatically, not instantly, but steadily. quietly carving a path toward better comfort, better mobility, better energy. Imagine ending your day not with tension, but with release. Imagine waking up not with stiffness, but with ease. Imagine creating a nightly ritual that signals to your brain, this is my time to reset. When you take those few minutes to warm the oil, breathe deeply, and touch these 3 points, you are telling your body that health matters. You are choosing presence over pressure, intention over neglect. And something remarkable happens when people commit to these small acts. Confidence returns. The body feels supported. The mind becomes clearer. You start noticing that the things you once ignored, the tightness, the fatigue, the heaviness, begin to lighten, not because of the oil alone, but because you are finally giving yourself the care you deserve. So if you're searching for a tiny habit that can shift your body toward greater ease and comfort, begin tonight. Slow down. Warm a small amount of castor oil between your palms. Apply it to your lower abdomen, then the crease near your thighs, then your lower back. Breathe, relax. Let your body receive the message of softness and warmth. Sometimes massive change begins with the smallest gesture. One drop, one breath, one moment at a time. Have you ever stopped and truly asked yourself how much of your daily comfort, your energy, your mood, your sense of vitality comes not from big decisions, but from the smallest physical habits you repeat every single day? We often believe that improving our health requires dramatic effort, strict diets, intense workouts, or complicated routines. But the truth, as many wellness experts quietly emphasize, is far simpler. The body changes most in response to the little things, those tiny, consistent actions that tell your nervous system, your muscles, and your circulation how to behave. And yet, these small habits are the ones people ignore the most. Think about your mornings, your evenings, the moments in between. Without realizing it, you send your body signals all day long. When you sit in the same position for hours, your body interprets that as stiffness. When you breathe shallowly, it interprets that as stress. When you move quickly without awareness, your body believes life is demanding urgency from you. And when you pause, slow down, breathe deeply, and apply even a small amount of soothing warmth to the skin, your body instantly interprets that as safety. The body responds to these signals faster than it responds to supplements, faster than most therapies, faster than anything external. This is why simple habits can influence circulation so powerfully, not medically, but physically, neurologically, and emotionally. In books like The Miracle of Routine and The Power of Mindful Touch, authors describe something fascinating. The body is always listening, not just to what you eat or how you exercise, but to how you treat yourself. When you bring warmth to the skin, especially with something as gentle as castor oil, you aren't performing a miracle. You're engaging your body's oldest instinct, the instinct of restoration. Warmth softens, touch calms, slow movement teaches the body to reset. And when your body resets, it allows your circulation to move more freely simply because nothing is constricting it. What surprises many people is how much tension they carry without awareness. The human body is extraordinary at hiding stress. It tucks it away in the lower abdomen, locks it into the lower back, hides it in the groin area, and stores it in places we rarely pay attention to. But tension is like a hand clenched too tightly for too long. It restricts, squeezes, and slows the natural rhythm of the body. The longer it stays, the more the body forgets how to relax. This is where tiny habits come in, habits that reteach the body softness. When you take even 30 seconds to warm castor oil between your palms, your brain immediately shifts into a calmer state. Warmth activates the sensory nerves that tell your system this is safe, this is gentle, this is healing. When you place that warmth on a part of your body that has been silently holding pressure, the muscles respond. Not dramatically, not instantly, but subtly. They loosen, they soften, they allow blood to move with a little more freedom. Not because the oil is performing magic, but because your body is finally receiving a message it has been waiting for. Imagine a tight muscle like a traffic jam in your body. Everything slows because the path is narrow, blocked, or tense. But when warmth reaches that point, When gentle touch tells the muscle to relax, the traffic begins to move again. Slowly at first, then more smoothly, more freely. This is why people feel lighter or warmer or more open after such simple practices, not because something cures them, but because they finally allowed their body to release the tension that was limiting them. Many people underestimate how much circulation depends on relaxation. Not laziness, not inactivity, relaxation. A calm muscle receives blood better. A loose muscle pumps better. A soft abdomen allows deeper breathing. And deeper breathing alone can change everything. It widens the blood vessels, improves oxygen movement, reduces stress chemistry, and brings clarity to the mind. This is why something as small as applying warm castor oil can influence the way you feel, not as a medical treatment, but as a physical signal that encourages the body's natural pathways to work the way they were meant to. Consider how much time people spend fighting their bodies without realizing it. Tightened jaws, locked backs, stiff hips, shallow breath. The body becomes a collection of clenched fists, and then they wonder, why do I feel tired? Why do I feel heavy? Why does my energy fade so quickly? It's because tension is expensive. It drains the body, steals energy, and slows circulation. Small habits, like gentle massage, warmth, slow breathing, are not small at all. They are interruptions to the cycle of tension that silently controls so much of daily life. When a person chooses one simple ritual, like applying castor oil to 3 points each night, they are not just adding something, they are subtracting stress. They are interrupting the automatic patterns that keep their body rigid. They are reminding their body how to relax again. And when the body relaxes, blood flow improves naturally because nothing is holding it back. This is the power of a simple physical habit. It doesn't require effort. It doesn't require skill. It doesn't require money. All it requires is consistency. The body loves consistency more than intensity. A gentle practice every night means more to your system than a dramatic, exhausting effort once in a while. Small actions, repeated with intention, build strength where chaos once lived. And so, when you think about improving blood flow, energy, or vitality, remember this. Your body isn't asking for complexity. It's asking for relief. It's asking for warmth. It's asking for moments of softness. One drop, one breath, one gentle routine. Small habits shape your health more than anything else. And once you understand that, you begin to realize that your body has been giving you the same message all along. It just needed you to start listening. There is a powerful truth many people overlook. The body is designed to respond instantly to touch. Not just emotional touch, not just comforting touch. Any intentional, mindful contact awakens a cascade of reactions inside you. Your nerves alert your brain. Your muscles shift their tone. Your breathing automatically deepens. This is why certain practices feel calming even before you understand why. And this is where castor oil becomes more than an oil. It becomes a bridge between your mind and your physical body, especially when applied to the second vital point, the crease where your leg meets your pelvis. This area, though rarely discussed, is one of the busiest intersections of the human body. Large vessels pass through here. Powerful hip muscles originate here. Years of sitting, tension, poor posture, and lack of stretching quietly tighten this space until it becomes almost locked. When this point becomes stiff, the legs feel heavy, the lower abdomen feels tense, and movement begins to lose its natural rhythm. Most people never realize how much this contributes to the feeling of sluggishness. They simply assume they're aging, tired, or not as flexible as before, when in truth, their body is just asking for attention in a place they never think to care for. When you warm castor oil in your hands and gently apply it to this point, you are doing something incredibly valuable, something more profound than the action itself might appear. You are sending a message directly to an area that carries more tension than you know. You are easing the pressure around some of the body's most hardworking structures. You are telling the muscles and connective tissue that it is safe to soften. And the moment they soften, circulation naturally finds more room to move. It is important to understand what actually happens within the body when an area like this relaxes. When the hip crease is tight, the flow of movement from the core to the legs becomes restricted. When you walk, the muscles compensate and work harder than they should. When you sit, the tightness deepens. When you sleep, the body tries to unwind but cannot fully release. This creates a cycle of low-grade tension that follows you all day, draining energy even when you are unaware of it. But when you apply warmth and gentle pressure to this point, the cycle begins to break. Every muscle fiber, every nerve ending, every connective tissue strand in that region is wired to react to warmth. This is why warm baths, hot water bottles, or heated pads bring such relief. But castor oil adds something extra, not magical, not medicinal, but deeply practical. Its thickness allows your hands to glide slowly without friction, encouraging a type of massage that is both soothing and grounding. The pressure becomes steady, the warmth becomes consistent, and the body interprets this as a release. Many people underestimate how much of their stress lives in their hips. These muscles tighten during fear, during rushing, during overthinking, during long hours of sitting. They are part of the body's natural bracing mechanism, the way we prepare ourselves for life's pressures. When these muscles soften, it feels like a small weight lifts from the entire lower body. You may find your legs feel freer, your steps lighter, your posture more upright. Not because the oil fixed anything, but because you removed the invisible lock that tension had placed there. Consider how the nervous system responds to this kind of touch. When you massage this crease slowly, your brain receives signals of safety. It reduces stress hormones. It increases relaxation chemicals. Your breath deepens without effort. And when your breathing deepens, your diaphragm moves more fully, which automatically improves circulation throughout your core. This chain reaction begins with the simplest act, your hands, your intention, a few drops of castor oil, and the willingness to give your body a moment of gentle care. Imagine someone performing this small ritual each night. At first it feels ordinary, simple, maybe even insignificant. But over days and weeks, something subtle begins to shift. The hips feel more open. The lower abdomen feels less tight. Walking becomes smoother. Standing feels easier. And perhaps most importantly, the mind starts to feel quieter. There is a deep connection between physical release and emotional ease. When the hips relax, the whole body follows. When the body relaxes, circulation flows with less resistance. And when circulation flows well, everything, energy, mood, sleep, strength begins to improve. This is the hidden power of focusing on a single physical point. It teaches you something profound about your own body. Small actions, repeated consistently, create large internal changes. Most people are waiting for external solutions, supplements, machines, treatments, when the body itself is capable of extraordinary improvement through simple, consistent care. You become your own source of relief. There is a wisdom in slow, intentional touch that no device can replace. When your hand touches your skin, your nervous system reacts in a way no tool can imitate. It knows the difference between mechanical pressure and human intention. And when that intention is soothing, calming, and deliberate, the body responds quickly. This is why many ancient traditions, from Ayurveda to early Greek medicine, used oil massage not as a luxury, but as a daily practice. They understood something modern life has forgotten. The body thrives under care, not pressure. It heals best through presence, not intensity. When you give attention to this second point, you begin building a relationship with your body that many people never develop. You start noticing where you hold tension. You understand how habits shape your comfort. You learn how relaxation changes the quality of your day. And most importantly, you discover that you are capable of influencing your own well-being through the simplest, most human act, touch. This is why applying castor oil to this point matters, not because of what the oil is, but because of what the act teaches your body to soften, to open, to breathe, and to allow energy and circulation to move without the silent resistance tension creates. When you release this point, you release more than stiffness. You release the patterns that have been weighing down your body for years. There is a point on the body that almost everyone neglects, even though it carries more physical and emotional weight than most people realize: the lower back. This region, right around the center of your spine, is like the body's main support pillar. Every movement you make, every step you take, every twist, bend, or stretch depends on the stability and softness of this area. And yet, for many people, the lower back becomes a silent reservoir of tension, stress, stiffness, and suppressed fatigue. It carries the weight of long days, emotional strain, years of sitting, and the natural pressure of aging. When this area tightens, it affects almost everything else: your posture, your flexibility, your mood, and yes, even the way your circulation moves through the lower half of your body. Applying warm castor oil here is not about fixing or curing anything. It is about giving your spine and surrounding muscles a moment of release, a moment of warmth, a moment where the body can stop bracing against life. When you gently massage this point, you are performing one of the oldest self-care gestures known to humanity, offering comfort to the backbone that carries you through your entire day. The lower back tends to lock up quietly. People feel it as stiffness in the morning, as pressure when they bend forward, as fatigue when standing too long, or as a dull discomfort after a long day. What they often fail to realize is that lower back tension does not only affect the back, it creates a chain reaction. The hips tighten to compensate. The abdomen becomes rigid. Breathing becomes shallow. Even the legs can feel heavy, slow, or tired because the nerve pathways from the spine influence everything below it. So when you apply castor oil with warmth and intention to this central point, you are not just comforting the back, you are soothing an entire system. Warmth has an immediate effect on the nerves in this region. The body interprets it as relief, safety, and support. Imagine you place your hand gently on someone's back when they are upset. They relax, not because of the pressure, but because of the warmth and presence. The same happens when you apply warm castor oil to your own lower back. The muscles slowly begin to unwind. The fascia, the connective tissue beneath the skin, softens. The nerves calm. And because the spine is connected to so many areas, this release sends waves of ease throughout the rest of the body. One of the most overlooked aspects of the lower back is its relationship with stress. When the mind is pressured, the lower back tightens. When someone is anxious, they hold tension in their spine. When life feels heavy, the body unconsciously creates physical heaviness in the lower back. This is why tension here often feels emotional as much as physical. A simple massage with warm oil becomes more than physical relief. It becomes a signal to the mind you can let go now. Imagine the oil warming under your hands. Imagine slowly applying it in small circles, feeling the muscles soften with each breath. This small act teaches your nervous system something essential: that you do not always have to be in defense mode, that your body does not always have to brace, that rest is allowed. Over time, this nightly or daily ritual begins to retrain your body to remain soft even during the day. When the lower back relaxes, circulation improves naturally, not because of the oil, but because there is simply more space for blood to move. Tight muscles restrict, while soft muscles release. You may begin to notice a sense of gentle warmth spreading down the legs, or a feeling of looseness in the hips, or even better posture without effort. These are not dramatic changes. They are quiet, steady shifts that come from allowing your spine a moment of support. Think of the spine as a river. When debris builds up, the flow slows down. When the riverbanks are tight and rigid, the water has nowhere to move freely. But when the space around the river softens, the water flows effortlessly. That is what you are doing when you warm and massage this point. You are clearing subtle blocks, not in a medical sense, but in a physical, natural, tension release sense. Many people never touch their lower back with intention. They only notice it when it hurts. They treat it as a wall rather than a part of themselves that needs care. But when you begin to make this a ritual, something shifts. You start understanding your body differently. You begin listening to it. You start noticing the small signs it gives you long before discomfort becomes pain. This ability to listen to your body is one of the greatest gifts self-care can provide. Picture someone ending their day with this simple practice. A few drops of oil, a slow massage, deep breathing, warmth spreading through the muscles. Over time, their mornings feel easier. Their movements become smoother. Their stiffness becomes less intense. Their energy increases because they're not constantly fighting against hidden tension. They feel lighter, freer, more grounded. And none of this comes from the oil alone. It comes from the release the oil allows. This is what makes Keynote 3 so important. It teaches that the lower back is not just a mechanical part of the body, it is an emotional anchor, a physical foundation, a center of strength that deserves gentle care. When you give attention to this point, you are honoring the part of you that carries the most weight, literally and symbolically. The simple act of applying castor oil becomes a message of compassion toward your own body, a message of restoration, a message of relief. And when your lower back finally begins to soften, everything else follows. The body moves better, the breath deepens, the mind calms, circulation improves because nothing is blocking its natural flow. This small ritual becomes a gateway to a more comfortable, energized, and balanced version of yourself. One drop, one moment, one breath at a time. There is a moment in every person's life when they finally understand that true change does not come from force. It does not come from overwhelming effort, sudden intensity, or pushing the body to its limits. Real transformation, the kind that lasts, comes from consistency. Quiet, gentle, almost unnoticeable steps repeated over time. Yet this is the lesson most people ignore. They wait for a big breakthrough, a dramatic shift, a powerful method that will change everything overnight. But the body does not work that way. The body responds to what you do regularly, not what you do occasionally. And this is the hidden truth behind any self-care ritual, including something as simple as applying castor oil to 3 points of the body. Think about the difference between a single drop of water and a steady stream. One drop changes nothing. But a drop that falls in the same place every day begins to carve patterns into stone. It creates shape, direction, and depth where there was once only hardness. The human body is no different. A single act of care may feel pleasant, maybe even relaxing, but it doesn't transform anything immediately. But when that same act is repeated day after day, when it becomes a ritual, a rhythm, a habit, the body begins to change in ways too subtle to notice at first. Then, one day, you realize you feel lighter, you move more freely, you breathe more deeply, and the patterns that once held you back have started to dissolve. This is why consistency matters so much. Small habits, repeated with intention, teach the body trust. They tell the nervous system you will receive care today, just as you did yesterday. And slowly, the body learns to relax faster. The muscles begin releasing tension sooner. Your breath deepens without effort. Circulation flows more smoothly because the body no longer feels the need to hold everything tight. It is not the oil itself that creates this response. It is the ritual of care that the oil allows. People often underestimate the power of repetition because the mind is always searching for big results. But the body is ancient, wise, and slow-moving. It does not care about sudden changes. It craves stability. When you apply castor oil each night, you are not just softening your abdomen, hips, or lower back. You are softening your entire lifestyle. You are replacing the habit of tension with the habit of release. You are showing up for your body in the same way every day, telling it quietly, you matter, your comfort matters, your ease matters. And the body responds to that message far more deeply than it responds to anything intense or dramatic. Imagine someone who begins this ritual with skepticism. They think, how can something so simple matter? But they decide to try it anyway. The first night, they feel a bit relaxed, but nothing extraordinary. The second night, maybe they sleep a little deeper. By the 5th night, their breath feels easier as they apply the oil. By the 10th night, the lower back begins to loosen more quickly, as though the muscles recognize the routine and prepare for softness. And by the 20th night, something remarkable happens. The body anticipates relief even before the ritual begins. The mind associates this quiet moment with calm. The nervous system begins to wind down automatically. This is the power of repetition. The body learns the pattern and prepares itself to receive it. Consistency also creates a sense of ownership. When you commit to a simple practice daily, you reclaim responsibility for your well-being. Not in a harsh, demanding way, but in a grounded, empowering way. Instead of waiting for something external to help you feel better, you become your own source of support. You begin to trust your ability to influence how you feel. That trust becomes confidence, and that confidence becomes motivation to continue nurturing your body through other healthy habits. What many people do not realize is that these quiet moments of self-care also rewire the brain. When you show up for yourself consistently, you strengthen the neural pathways associated with safety, relaxation, and calm. These are the same pathways that influence blood vessel tone, muscle relaxation, and breathing patterns. Slowly, your baseline state begins to shift. You become less reactive, less tense, less weighed down. Even your posture changes because the body is no longer protecting itself from invisible stress. Rituals like this are not about the oil. They are about the message the ritual sends, the message of patience, the message of presence, the message that healing is not an event. It is a relationship you build with your body over time. When you apply the oil with awareness, you activate something deeper than physical touch. You awaken a dialogue between your mind and your body. You learn where you hold stress. You learn when your muscles resist. You learn how your breath changes when you slow down. You begin to understand yourself in a way most people never do. And the beauty of this understanding is that it grows. What starts as a 3-minute routine becomes a doorway into deeper self-awareness. You start moving through your day, noticing tension before it accumulates. You begin correcting your posture naturally. You breathe more deeply without thinking. Circulation improves simply because the body no longer feels trapped in defense mode. All these changes come from the same source, small, consistent acts repeated with care. Imagine if every night you gave your body a moment to release everything it held during the day. The stress, the pressure, the stiffness, the emotional weight. Over weeks and months, that release becomes your foundation. You wake up more refreshed, you feel more aligned, you move with more ease because you are not carrying yesterday's tension into today. Consistency is not exciting, but it is transformative. It does not shout, but it shapes. It does not rush, but it rebuilds. And if you allow it, these quiet, small actions can lead you to a version of yourself you may have forgotten was possible. Calm, energized, grounded, and alive in your own body again. There comes a point in every healing journey when you realize that everything you were searching for, more energy, better circulation, deeper relaxation, a calmer mind, was never locked away in some complicated method. It was always within reach, always inside your body, waiting for you to pay attention. People spend years chasing solutions that feel dramatic or impressive, but the truth is that the body thrives on simplicity. It responds best to actions that are gentle, consistent, and rooted in awareness. And this is the larger lesson behind applying castor oil to these 3 points. The real transformation is not in the oil, but in the relationship you build with your own body. When you give your body a moment of intentional care, you awaken something that modern life often suppresses, the body's natural intelligence. This intelligence is ancient and instinctive. It knows how to repair itself. It knows how to relax deeply. It knows how to restore circulation when tension is removed. But this system only wakes up when you create the right environment for it. Stress shuts it down. Overthinking numbs it. Rushing disconnects you from it. But presence, simple, grounded presence, restores it. Think about how your body responds in moments of quiet. When you sit comfortably, breathe slowly, and place your hand gently on an area of tension, something shifts almost instantly. Your mind becomes calmer, your muscles loosen, your breath deepens. This is your body's intelligence coming forward. The castor oil is simply a tool that helps make this moment more intentional, more soothing, more focused. The warmth, the touch, the slow movement, they guide your nervous system back to balance. The beauty of this process lies in how universal it is. It does not require strength, youth, money, or perfect health. Anyone can do it. You can be tired, stressed, stiff, or aging. It does not matter. The body still knows how to respond when you give it the right signals. And one of the most powerful signals you can send is slow down, release. You are safe. Many people never experience this kind of inner safety. Their bodies remain in a near constant state of alertness. They hold their breath without noticing. They tighten their abdomen unconsciously. They clench their jaw. They stiffen their lower back. The body adapts to stress even when it isn't needed. Over time, this becomes the normal state. Tight, hard, restricted. But normal does not mean healthy. It simply means familiar. The oil and touch create a new familiarity, one where softness becomes normal again. Imagine someone performing this ritual each night, not as a chore, not as a medical treatment, but as a moment of reconnection. They sit quietly. They warm a few drops of oil. They breathe deeply. They touch the points on their body that carry the most weight. Each breath invites relaxation. Each stroke dissolves old tension. With each passing day, the body begins to trust this routine. Trust is powerful. When the body trusts, it releases. When it releases, circulation opens naturally. This is not magic. It is physiology guided by mindfulness. You may begin to notice subtle shifts. Your sleep becomes deeper. Your mood becomes steadier. Your movements become smoother. You wake up feeling more refreshed because your body is no longer spending all night trying to unwind the tension you accumulated during the day. The ritual before sleep becomes the bridge that carries you into rest instead of stress. And perhaps the most profound change is the internal one. You begin to feel present inside yourself. So many people move through life disconnected from their bodies. They live in their thoughts, their worries, their tasks. They forget to notice how they feel physically until discomfort demands their attention. But when you practice even a few minutes of intentional touch each night, you start to inhabit your own body again. You develop a sense of grounding that no external solution can replace. The power of presence is often underestimated. When you are present, you breathe differently. You walk differently. You carry yourself differently. You respond to stress differently. Your muscles stay softer. Your mind stays clearer. Your circulation stays more open because the body is not constantly bracing for impact. Presence transforms physiology in ways modern science is still learning to measure. This is why these 3 points matter. They are gateways into the deeper landscape of your physical and emotional life. The abdomen holds stress. The hip crease holds tension. The lower back holds weight. When these areas soften, your entire system reorganizes itself into a state of ease. The symptoms you once thought were random, fatigue, heaviness, stiffness, irritability, low energy, begin to fade because the root cause, chronic tension, is finally being addressed. What makes this practice so powerful is not intensity, but intention, not force, but gentleness, not speed, but presence. When you slow down, your body opens up. When you soften your touch, your muscles follow. When you breathe deeply, your heart rate steadies. When you give care, your body responds with gratitude in the form of comfort, warmth, and a renewed sense of vitality. There is a quiet wisdom in caring for yourself this way. A wisdom that says healing is not something you chase. It is something you allow. It is something you create room for. It is something that grows slowly, like a seed watered each day. And one day, without any dramatic moment, you simply realize you feel better. You feel calmer. You feel more alive. This is the message of Keynote 5. Your body is not your enemy. It is not fragile. It is not failing. It is simply waiting for you to work with it, not against it. A few drops of oil, a moment of warm touch, and your willingness to be present, that is enough to begin unlocking the ease your body has been longing for all along.